The next doll is
I'm in danger.
Hey there, welcome to the Junk Drawer. My name is Enzo, and today we are talking about some vintage doll packaging. So if you don't already know, I am a graphic designer, so I am always thinking about design and packaging and all that fun stuff. And I love vintage design, especially doll packaging. I think it's so fun and a lot more I don't know, there's something about it that's very charming to me. Like the stuff from like the 60's and 70's and even 80's. It's just really fun to look at. So I thought today we would take a look at a handful of doll packaging. These are ones that I just kind of randomly picked out. They're not in any order or anything. I just thought it'd be fun to take a look and maybe talk about them. Okay, so the first doll that we're gonna look at is my Tiny Mopet. What is a Mopet? No clue. This is, I just noticed that it says thank you for my Tiny Mopet. Real strange. But the first thing I noticed was the illustration, and that's something that's going to come up again and again and again. I love illustrations on doll packaging. I think it really kind of adds to the story of the doll, and it kind of sells the doll. So I think it's really fun when they do that, and they did a lot of that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and they still do it now to a certain degree, but I don't feel like as much as they did back then. But anyway, the reason I wanted to talk about this particular packaging was I love the bubble blister style, and we could kind of lump this kind of style with all of I feel like the smaller dolls, like the dolls I've talked about on my channel before. They all come in these like tiny blisters, and I think they're so adorable, and I love it. I also love the oval shape. We rarely get oval shapes for dolls, so I think this is a unique package. The next doll we're going to talk about is Leggy, and she is from the 70s, the early 70s, and she's actually someone that we've talked about before. I've actually probably mentioned this packaging before, but I just really love the way it's cut, where it's like rounded at the top and then it's like squared off at the bottom. I just think it's really unique. And then you have the illustration on the right side, and it's just really eye-catching to me. I actually have a Leggy doll. I don't know. I definitely mentioned it in one of my videos. I don't know if it's a dedicated video or not, but yeah, they're really interesting dolls, and the packaging kind of complements the uniqueness of the doll for sure. The next doll is from the late 70s. This is Suntan Dodie. I actually have Suntan Eric. He is like I don't know if he's like the big brother or maybe like boyfriend of the other main character. I don't remember what the other Suntan insert name here is, but I like this packaging because it's not like a square box. It kind of goes in, and then the back is like flat. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's not your standard box packaging. Yeah, I just like the shape of the box, I guess. I don't know. The actual design on the box is like whatever. I think this one is definitely more for like the shape of the box. The next doll is Fashion Flaty from the late 60s, early 70s. And Flaty dolls are super interesting. They are what you would think they would be. They're very flat dolls. They're kind of bendy. I actually have a version of a Flaty called a cookie doll. I forget. There's definitely a video that I did for that. But yeah, these are really interesting dolls in general. The reason I chose this box was I think the cutout is very interesting. It's very rounded, which we don't really see rounded cutouts on boxes. Or I haven't. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously more rounded at the top, and then at the bottom it's kind of rounded. I don't know. There's something very interesting about that for some reason. So that's why I chose it. The next doll is an Andy Gibb doll. This is from the late 70s, and I love this box so much. I love how colorful it is. I don't know whatever this rainbow color swirl thing that's going on the top or on the box, and then the font that they chose for Andy Gibb is really fun, and then the illustration is hilarious. It's not the best illustration, but it's still funny. And yeah, I don't know, this box makes me happy. It's just like a happy box. And I don't know, if I was a kid in the 70s and was into dolls, I would probably pick this one up. The next doll is Gem. This is from the mid 80s. So this kind of goes for all the Gem packaging. I don't know, I'm most familiar with this particular packaging where you've got this like really kooky kind of cutout in the middle with this like it's an illustration, obviously, but it's more like lifelike. It's not so flat. It's almost like three-dimensional a little bit, which is a very interesting style. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a really like vibrant packaging overall. I have one of these. I have a Rio doll in box. I have not taken him out of the box because I love the packaging so much that I wanted to keep him in there. But yeah, it's so colorful and fun, and it's very 80s. I think that's partially why I'm like also partial to it. Yeah, it's great. It's a great box. The next doll is a Darcy doll. So this is from the late 70s, early 80s. And there's a whole line of these Darcy dolls. And I like this packaging because the doll is actually seated, which is very interesting, and it's like in a square shape, which is something we don't really see with dolls. Usually they're like standing up or whatever to kind of maximize the space, but they chose to have the dolls sitting, which I think is really interesting. I think also the Brooke Shields doll is the same way. I feel like she's also kind of like lounging in the box, which is really fun. I would love to get one of these dolls. And then in the background, you can see like a magazine cover. It's a really fun, interesting box design. And I think on the shelf, it would definitely stand out amongst the other dolls. Next, we have Rock Flowers. This is from the early 70s. And I love this packaging so much. I've definitely talked about these before, but these are... it's like a line of like hippie dolls, basically, and so you have the doll in the package, and then there's an actual record that is kind of attached to it, and I think it actually plays music. So the shape of the doll is very, very interesting and very eye-catching. Although I'm not sure how they would have displayed. I'm sure it took up a lot of space on the shelving, so I'm curious as to how they kind of got around that, because stores like don't like when products take up too much space. So yeah, it's very interesting, but very super unique packaging. The next doll is Star. So this is a Mattel product meant to kind of complement Barbie. This is like a teen line of dolls. I actually have Star's boyfriend, Sean, in very similar packaging, which I love this packaging so much. I love the illustration style. It's so 70s to me, and it's just really fun. You definitely get the vibe of like a high schooler with the note paper background, and then the handwritten notes on the box, and then like some like pictures or Polaroids or whatever you want to call them. It's just a really fun packaging. And the last doll line that we have today is Heidi. I believe that's the name of the doll line. It's by Remco. This is from the mid 60s, early 70s. And I love this packaging. So they are these like tiny dolls that come in these hard plastic cases that are meant to be like pocketbooks, purses, or whatever we want to call them. They've got handles, and you're meant to like reuse the packaging basically. So you can either use it to carry around your dolls, or you can put other stuff in it. There's nothing else in it. It's like an empty case or whatever. So I just think it's super, super unique and interesting, and I love the concept. I also love that there are different shapes to the different dolls. Like, it's not just like one shape that they use for all the dolls. There are a variety of shapes, so that's also cool. But I love the repurposability, is that a word? of these cases. And I know that now we have similar packaging with, like, for example, Monster High's Skulltimate Secrets is very much in the same vein as, like, here's a doll in a plastic package that you could potentially reuse. I feel like it's less intuitive to reuse a Skulltimate Secrets locker versus like something like this that's an actual, like, oh, it's obvious that it's like a purse or a bag, and you could put anything in it and carry anything in it. Whereas like with Ultimate Secrets, it's like more of like a storage kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't know. There's something about the Ultimate Secrets that seems very wasteful. And once you get past like the surprise element of it, it's like, okay, I have these like giant pieces of plastic that I don't know what to do with. So, but yeah, anyway, these are really cool, and I would love to have one of these in my collection, even though I don't really collect the baby, like the tiny. I mean, I guess I do. I don't know. What am I talking about? I keep saying I don't collect tiny dolls. I don't, whatever. And like, I'm like slowly building a giant collection of them. But anyway, these are really cute. I would love to have one of these in my collection. So there you go. There is a quick list of vintage doll packaging that I think is very interesting. Again, not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there's a ton more stuff out there that is like super interesting. I literally just like went through and I was like, oh, I'll pick this, 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 and this. But yeah, let me know if there is packaging out there, like vintage doll packaging, that you think is super interesting. Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll do another video, like a follow-up video or something. Also, if you want me to do a more like modern packaging video, also let me know if you want something like that. I love talking about design and all that fun stuff, so yeah, let me know. As always, thank you so very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe. And I hope you're having a lovely whenever you're watching this, and I will catch you next time.